Hey everybody, I'm Loren Molloy, and that is Jessica. And tonight is
Hi.
another episode of Crazy Bitches Talk. Yes, that's right. It may be a little weird tonight because we're using cell phones,
Yeah,
but
picture's
happy
better.
move on.
Mine just might like pop right out onto the floor. But
Right?
it's like squished between this hinge thing with springs.
Mine is between like my tower and the top of the computer desk. So I'm like, if I shake anything, we might have disaster, but it'll be fun because, all in the name of love and crazy bitches, right?
Nice. So it goes with the package there.
I know, right? Now, please, everyone, remember to like, share, and follow the Crazy Bitches Facebook page and the YouTube page. That way, get to more people. We got to talk to more of you. Please leave comments in the comment section. That way, we can connect and say hello and have more of an in-depth conversation. Because I love talking to you, Jess, but it's fun when new people show up too.
It's so much fun when you guys say stuff.
And
And
don't
if there's
mind me, I'm
anything that
still
you guys
trying
want
to
to
get
talk,
graveyard dirt and moss out of my hair.
oh, and Al's still getting it out of his teeth.
We should probably explain, right? Let's
Yeah.
explain. If anybody has been paying attention to either of our public pages or personal pages, you'll know that we've been working on The Devil's Lettuce this past weekend. Yes, that's right. The Devil's Lettuce is my feature horror film that we're working on right now. It's about a bunch of potheads who go into a graveyard, decide to smoke weed on Friday the 13th. This drunken monkey breaks the bowl, Swirly Magoo, and decides when he
Swirly.
finds a human. Rest in peace, Swirly Magoo. Need a moment. um, and he decides, this drunken monkey, when he sees a human skull in the graveyard, that instead of ending the party early, they'll just smoke out of that. Well, him and his friend Ace decide to take some real big hits out of this skull head and wind up getting real sick. Now, you won't know. Is he sick? Is he possessed? Did a demon take over from that skull? You'll have to watch the movie. Jess plays one of the leads, and let me tell you, I am more than impressed with how amazing she performed her part. I am quite serious. She's blushing because she thinks I'm just like talking out my ass, but I don't do that. It would sound
Oh,
really gross. It would just be a bunch of fart sounds. So, the truth of the matter is, one of the hardest things for anybody to do is act terrified because there's a vulnerability in it. I know I am not fit for any role or I'd have to do that. This woman was able to dig down deep enough that made it came through so realistic that me and the lighting team were like, oh shit. She also was a trooper running in the dark down these very bad roads that were not paved well. Still going, that's all right, I'll do another take. She's a badass bitch, all right? Her boyfriend Al plays the epic other lead as well as a few others. We have Cynthia and we have Nelson Moss who played the other leads as well. Now all of them are partying. Some wind up being possessed, sick killers. Others wind up being victims or, maybe a final girl. Don't we love those movies where there's a final girl? Now, for those of you who are not, really understanding the horror world, final girl means, as it says, the final girl left standing at the end of the movie. Usually the badass bitch who surprises the fuck out of you. So maybe it's Jess. Maybe it's somebody else. You won't know until you get to the end of that movie. And let me tell you, I already got some sick twists at the end of that. We've had some fun, gory moments. We've had some scary shit.
lots of fun.
And a lot of fun. You'll see, you guys, youps, like my cousin Vinny, youps,
You.
should look at the bottom of the screen and scrolling, you'll see donate now and a PayPal link. Please, paypal.me/happy horrors and donate whatever you can to help make this movie happen. We'll be filming again October 1st and we'll be filming in spring. So please get your donations in and you will get a thank you credit for donating to this film. You'll get a thank you credit on IMDb as well as in the movie credits. That's a freaking big deal just for supporting a bunch of females that are making a bunch of awesome movies and a bunch of awesome kill scenes. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And you see how gorgeous this girl is. Look at her. Oh, look at her. Wait until you see her kicking ass in this movie covered in blood. She's badass, yo, and you're not going to expect some of the shit that's going to come from her in this film. And for all those that are 420 lovers, I have my Jack Skellington, or as Wish.com likes to say, Jake. Fucking Jake.
That's so weird. Jake.
I guess they don't want to get in trouble, but who would actually look on Wish.com and look for a Jake bowl or a Jake pipe? Well, no, you can't.
No.
I know Wish.com is not the best site, and by the way, my voice is killing me, so I'm going to whisper as much as I can. I hope you guys still hear me, but as a director, you're yelling miles sometimes.
Oh my god,
to say action and all this stuff, right?
Mostly oi, pay attention, oi.
Oi,
come on.
So all
it
they're all standing around, and I'm like, oi, and they're like, yes. When you go, excuse me, everyone's still talking. It's like, oi, 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 oi. That's how you know part of me is Irish and Scottish. Oi, oi, oi. Got the English, Irish, and Scottish in me. So
I think that's from England. Oi. The first time I heard oi was in Shaun of the Dead. And I'm like, he's trying to get somebody's attention, and he says oi. And I'm like, he didn't say yo. That's like us saying yo.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to hear something different be yelled at
you. Oh, man. So why don't you tell the audience a little bit about some of your experiences on the film without giving away too many details?
Oh, you're going to put me in a bad spot here.
Well, no. Why don't you tell everybody how you felt about filming at the Church of the Mystic Grey?
So it was a fantastic church. I don't know much about the owner, but there's somebody that's redoing the church that's non-denominational. And he just wants what is it?
Pastor Butch.
Pastor Butch, yes. And he just wants everybody to get together so that they can pray. And it's a beaten up church. I hope he leaves the ceiling the way it is. You guys got to check out the pictures. It's like, just the paint's peeling, but then there's this gorgeous chandelier. Mm-hmm. And on the cross, instead of Jesus in flesh and blood bleeding, he prefers to see the skeleton of Jesus. So there is a skeleton on the cross, which is pretty cool too, and it added some really great things to the movie. Yeah. But I will tell you, being like a first-time actor, man, they gave me so much credit, and I'm not trying to be modest, but it is difficult to reach down and do some things that, because I get scared, there's a control that comes over me. So when I'm scared, I quiet down and try to analyze the situation. So trying to be scared and just belt out screams or make those fearful faces, it was like, I had to learn. It was really nice to have a bunch of veteran actors on set helping me. You guys were great. Thank you so much. You made me feel so good about just a little bit that I did. And I really hope to learn a lot more. If anybody has any tips, on how to, get that fear out onto the screen, send some comments this way. I really need some assistance in practicing so that the next scene that we film on October 1st, I'll be able to really go out with a bang there. Because is that the final scene that will be is the final scene being filmed on October 1st?
Final scene of what? The whole movie?
Yeah, or is that just the first part?
No, that's just a little scene of you, baby girl. Yeah. Okay, so just for everybody, we're really super excited that we have been given the okay from a hemp farm, a hemp cannabis field that Jess will be running through with Nelson Moss chasing her. I can't fucking wait. Oh my God. Um, is just so good. It's in upstate New York in Bloomville, so that's an exciting one. And that's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be at night, so she has to run around a cannabis field at night. But we put her through her paces already because we had a haunted 100-year-old church. The Church of
Oh
Mystic
my
Ray
God.
is over
It was
100 years
incredible.
old. It actually has the cross of Saint Peter, I believe, which is the
Which
upside
is sort of
upside
like
down
an upside
cross.
down cross, guys.
The upside down cross actually came because he felt he shouldn't be at the same position as Jesus because he didn't feel of the same kind of like respect level. So that's how it started. It had nothing to
Wow.
do with evil at all. It had to do with like a whole other thing.
Respect.
But it got taken
Wow.
into meaning evil. So that's why it's beautifully done. And Pastor Butch is a really awesome dude because he knows his history. So we're actually going to go back, me and my production team, Happy Hearts Productions, which is an all-female production team. We're going to go back and talk to Pastor Butch about the history of the church, about who he is, about the building. But I do know it was one of the few churches that was accepting of anything other than, just Christian or Catholic. So from my understanding, it was one of the first churches that like wanted to marry, same-sex couples or interracial couples where, those kinds of things from what I know. But you'll have to stay tuned to the Devil's Lettuce movie page, which you can find on Facebook. And we'll have the interview with Pastor Butch on there. We'll have lots of lovely scenes. We even got some wonderful drone scenes from
Oh
that
my
church.
gosh, thank God. Those were like Hollywood movie scenes. When they were sent to us by the person, White Rabbit.
White Rabbit. Yeah,
David,
David
thank
Raymond.
you. I don't know if he's listening in, but thank you so much.
He's
He had
absolutely
such
working.
control over this drone. And the scenes, oh my gosh, they're just going to be cut in and cut out. And I swear it's going to look like Hollywood movies. I was impressed. And
Right?
those are
See
the
why I
things
was
that
like, we
help
need
us.
my White Rabbit. I need my White Rabbit.
Guys, those donations, they help us make this movie better. It helps feed us on set. If we need to stay somewhere, it helps us there. And because everybody pretty much volunteers. This is all of this, a donation. We don't see, none of us, even Loren, she doesn't see a penny of it. And this is just to help us
It's a
comfortably
passion
get
project.
through. Yeah. So thank you so much. The donation link is on the bottom there. If you could help us out, that'd be great. We even have people on the sets that help keep us warm during the scenes because it was like in the 30s on this weekend. But what an invigorating experience. It's a lot of sitting and waiting because lights need to be, sometimes they don't work. Sometimes, so, and sometimes it's too
Especially when
bright.
you're
I
at
mean,
a haunted location and you go from full battery to dead, and we go all look at each
yes.
other because
Isn't that
everybody on my
something?
production team has abilities, are so highly sensitive. So we all just looked at each other and was like, backup battery,
Yeah.
cell phone, like whatever we
Yeah.
needed to do.
But even the big battery, it was like a battery that you start a car with. And that was almost dead. So that just goes to show you the kind of energy gets sucked out when there's activity going on the set.
Yeah.
But yes, and everybody. Oh, I don't know. Most people know that Loren's sensitive, and man, as a director, she was not. It wasn't easy for her. She was feeling emotions that weren't hers. She was getting scared over things and sad over things that that weren't really happening. So she
Yeah.
was really, what a trooper. I mean, and it was so cold, and you're going through these emotions, but she just kept trucking. So, thank you.
I love you. And I'm laying on the ground taking different shots while another camera
Yes.
is taking different shots. And one of the things that happened that Jess is referring to is one of the scenes we had to film was in a haunted location that also was connected to an entirely different graveyard that was unconsecrated. And it also was super dark. There were tons of places that homeless people could hide. And this is what I didn't want to tell you while we were on set, Jess. I actually
Right.
found I actually found spots where people were living around us. When the guys went to go check, by the way, guys, when you work on one of my movies, you will never be in a situation when you're in danger, because I have people working as security that you don't even realize that's doing security, keeping an eye, checking the surrounding property before I get my girls even on set. So we did a perimeter check. Now, people don't realize that in my soul, I'm a warrior. I'm kind of like, everyone's like, what kind of military did you do? I didn't. I was born like this. So, like, me, Al, and Nelson were like taking, checking the property. When we had to do a scene where she had to smash into a building, I wanted to make sure there wasn't a homeless man living on the other side.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I remember you guys doing the check.
I was homeless at one point, so I understand how the homeless community works. There are great people that just wound up being homeless, and then there are those that are so sick in the head, they got demons or whatever, that they will go to depths that I do not even want you to even imagine, my girl. So when you disappeared and we couldn't find you,
it was so dark. I just went up to the car.
And we
oh my God.
So all of us called. Nobody heard you. And we already knew that there were some real, like, not healthy dudes that could come back at any time. So all of a sudden you were gone. From everything I had already told everybody to keep an eye on you. It's nobody's fault at all.
No, I know. I had no idea.
I would never.
Well, you didn't want that to get in. You didn't want to get that in the way of us acting either. It's,
and I also double checked why, by the way, when you were coming up to the group of us standing around, we were deciding, I was trying to decide on safety level. I almost cut the entire filming shoot because I wasn't sure how safe it was going to be for you, particularly. I knew Al, he would kill somebody if he had to, and we take care of it with the police. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, for you, and I don't mean that you're fragile in any way, but you are a brand new actress that doesn't have the same level of self-defense that the rest of us have been trained in. So we were in a circle discussing, do we just fucking cut it for your safety value and for everybody's safety value? Or can we take care of it where we're watching the scene enough that we can get it done and get the fuck out of there before any of these dudes would come back?
Oh my God.
If we were there by midnight, that's when they might start coming back because they're not going to be able to panhandle anymore. By 1 o'clock in the morning, they might go be back to their beds. That's why when you disappeared and I got hysterical, it was
now I get
God forbid one of these guys dragged you off somewhere.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I had no idea.
Now that is why I lost it. Now, I never cry unless it's out of control. And that's why the girls
oh my God. I'm
so that's what it is. And there was no actual issue. If I thought somebody was already on the property, if I thought somebody was going to come back any second, fuck that scene. Your safety, our safety, hella more important than any fucking film on the planet.
Right.
Because everybody agreed there's no way we're going to have a problem unless we're still there at 2 o'clock in the morning. We made sure we got it, and you were never left alone. Now, quite frankly, you were still in eye line of Dab and Tina.
Yeah, so she helped me up with the light.
But because I was at the opposite end of where we were, I couldn't even see any of you. So at that point, when I didn't hear you, I was terrified because past history, I've lost people that way because they weren't paying attention. And we didn't have enough structure in place. It wasn't any of my stuff. Somebody would come back to me and be like, yo, she was just walking. She walked through a homeless compound. And then we'd have to go try to get her in time. Like, I've lived crazy fucked up shit that I really can't talk about. But when you disappeared and I got hysterical, that's why nobody else was shocked. It was like, cool, we got her. It's cool. But we weren't telling you because there's no way I'm causing you that level of stress when you don't need it.
Damn, now I know.
And that's why I wanted to clear it up. Not only was I getting flashes from all these different, like, poor souls that must have walked through, or from the graveyard behind that's unconsecrated. So up one level from where we were, if you went up a path, was a graveyard. So the combination of all those different energies was fucking me up. God. Plus it's cold, plus my fibromyalgia, plus my PTSD. So all of it, it was like, oh man. And we got through it because there wasn't any danger. We were fine. And it was just that moment of, this is the horror movie.
Right?
So although it seemed like a possible scary situation, it only was because we didn't have like at the cemetery, we had a fenced in area where we were perfectly capable of nobody sneaking up in any way. And
Right,
because it
right.
was already like a haunted location we were filming at, it already had that spooky fucking looking at me vibe, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So that's why it was like the overwhelming combination. And I'm like, and I can't get it together, man.
It was so crazy. It really was. The energy was crazy. I had to block all of that out. And in fact, the last scene that we filmed at the
Church?
church, I was feeling it. And I don't know if you could tell, but I was so spaced out. I needed to like I needed you to like direct me specifically on what to say and where my feet were going to be because something wasn't clicking in my head. And
Well, that's
yeah, we
also,
were exhausted, but like it was something different.
yeah. But
So
I have
I
to say, it's also because you did the scene before it where you had that fight scene and all that stuff. So you technically had all the shock and adrenaline going on. And then what happens with adrenaline is the minute it runs out of your system, it's almost like that exhaustion, what you were going through.
yep,
So the combination of that, which is why we kept getting you blankets, because the
right, right,
shock
right.
started making you extra cold and we didn't want you to have a problem. And being on now another haunted location and
Hmm.
whatever was there fucking with you, that's why it was like,
Right.
no problem, baby girl, we got this.
They were so cool. All of you guys were just so cool. You were like, get her blankets, da da da. And I felt like, should I be going to get the blankets? And then I actually felt like what it felt like to be like a real actress in Hollywood. Like she was pointing fingers for people to get me stuff. And I was like I wasn't used to it. And then you guys were applauding me. And I was like, this is like, I can understand why people get a big head when they're an actor or actress. I know Hollywood's different, but the way you guys were treating me made me feel like I was like special. And I was like, no, I'm equal to you guys, you know? I'm the rookie here, and you guys are the professionals. But you guys, you made me feel so great about myself. I'm not used to that, believe it or not.
Well, we got to work on that because we got,
Yeah.
I think that's another thing. Like, I talked to my team, and one of the things we're now starting and have started that we haven't really been talking about, but I'm making it like the public announcement now is we're starting the Happy Horrors Productions mentor program for young ladies who want to be able to get into the film
That's
industry
great.
for safety reasons where they can be on a set where it's all women. I mean, think about how I was with that scene. You knew you were safe no matter what. There's no fucking way
I
I'd
didn't
ever let a
feel
woman be
I
harmed
didn't
with
feel
me.
like I didn't feel like I was unsafe in any way. You guys were awesome.
But that's
But
also because they're all
you
epic
also had
people.
but you also had your like guides, your spirit guides. You marked them.
Yeah.
You told them to go one or Cynthia or I'm not sure if Cynthia or her sister.
Anderson, me, Tina, Dab, we all did it. We all had
So
it
anybody
was
that so anybody that's like into spirituality and understanding that there's like angels watching over you and your spirit guides. Well, Loren and her crew actually know how to speak to their own guides. And Cami or Cynthia, I'm not sure who, but she said I marked mine to get to be on one side of this road and my other one to be on the other side of the road, so that there was nothing was going to attach to us, and we were safe. And just her saying that brought that safety. But I also, for some reason, I went there. I am so afraid of the dark. My grandmother, when I was younger, she would ask me, we'd be at night watching TV in the living room. She'd tell me to go get her something in the kitchen. And while I was walking over in the pitch dark to get her something in the kitchen, before I get to the light, she'd be like, hey, Jess. And I would scream. Don't scream at me. What? Like, so I was always terrified of the dark. I didn't for 1 second, as pitch black as it was, as creepy as those buildings were, as much as I knew that that ground was haunted, I never felt that fear.
good.
And I don't know why.
Oh, I
Remember, Al came behind me for 1 second. Al came behind me for 1 second. I heard footsteps, and I jumped. That was the only time. But that
yeah,
was
and that's
literally because I heard something like creep up behind me, and you're like, "Don't scare her." And I'm
yeah.
like, he didn't. I just heard the footsteps. So yeah, it was such a great experience. You guys are awesome.
Oh, I'm so glad. But
I
we are
really
we're
can't
starting
wait
the
to do the rest.
we are starting the Happy Horrors Productions mentor program for young women who want to be in filming, because this way you can start out on a film and know you're safe. That way, if you go on to another film and something's different, you know it's wrong and you can be fuck off. That's not okay. Versus, I didn't know and I just went with it because I thought that's how it is. I am not
Yeah.
okay with any of that shit. So, and that's actually why I had even yelled at him a little bit, because he was causing the energy to change. One of the reasons you felt safe in the dark is because I think there was like 15 kinds of spirit animals around. We had Bagheera, which is my spirit black leopard. We had like animals in the sky, animals on the ground, animals in trees, like all of
It was
our.
awesome.
And it was amazing because at one point, I had seen something out of the corner of my eye, and I looked at Cammie, and she's like, "Well, that one's mine." And then I saw something else moving, and Sim's like, "That one's mine." And I was like, "Cool, all right," because I didn't feel scared. And they were like, "It's kind of awesome. You could see them. That's so awesome." I'm like, and then they had seen Bagheera, and I was like, and they're like, "Really big black leopard with spots but black," and I was like, "Yeah, that's Bagheera." They're like,
Oh my
"Okay, cool." So
God.
like we were like all like double checking so that it wasn't gonna. So that's why no matter what, plus we had Tina, and Tina is such a high level psychic. I know we've put like such bad stuff on that word, but that's all you got for her, because that is absolutely what she is. She should be teaching people how to do stuff, because she is incredible. She's helping with so much. But like, she made sure there was so much light and love as well as dab, that like it was shiny and bright. That's why I didn't feel like darkness. She made
I
sure it
have
felt like
to,
sunshine.
I have to pick her brain more. She kept saying things to me, but I wasn't sure.
What'd she
I
say?
don't know if she
I
didn't
don't know.
want to go. She just was like, you're really powerful and you're really special.
Yeah, you are.
And I don't know those things. When I was a young girl, I had a really bad haunt happen. And ever since that haunt, I prayed to God that it would never happen again. I
Oh,
prayed,
you
it was
shut
so,
yourself down and off. That's
yeah, I
weird.
shut it off. I just said, I'm not ready for this. I guess there was a lot going on in my life, or I wasn't balanced enough. I'm not sure
It
exactly what
wasn't the
happened.
time. Don't judge yourself and don't feel bad about it, especially in a
But
world that
then
makes you want to feel shitty for it.
I feel like I fucked myself because now that I'm more educated on the subject,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel a little bit more grounded about what I'm capable of, or about myself and what I'm capable of.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I want to invite it, because I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna be bombarded with it or whatnot, but I'm not exactly sure how to get it back, but in little bits.
Yeah, we'll
I'm
have you
sure
work
that
with
if I
Tina.
ask and meditate on it, it will happen. But I'm scared at the same
Yeah,
time.
no, we'll have you work with Tina. Well, I'll talk to Tina and we'll have you work with Tina. That way she can give you, because it's funny, like if I felt it was supposed to be me to teach you, I would be like, no problem, girl. But like all I hear is Tina's the one for the job. Tina
Okay.
has so many incredible abilities and like all sorts of stuff. So she actually is part of like the paranormal show we're going to be doing at some point soon too. We would have already started it, but COVID happened, so it kind of delayed
Oh my
everything.
God, I forgot you were talking about that. I'm really interested in more about what you plan on doing with that.
So are we. No, that's another
Are
one
you
of
gonna do
those
the
where,
church? Are you
yeah,
gonna
we're
do the
doing the
church?
church.
Oh
So
yeah.
we have a bunch of locations we're going to be doing, and I'm not sure what kind of format, if people want to call that we're going to do, because you know how I am. I give you a script and then I'll be like, do your own thing with it in a way.
And
And
thank God you do that, because I didn't know if I was gonna be able to get your vision across if I didn't say the lines that were on the script. But when you said to make it your own, I felt more comfortable in being able to portray, project what you really wanted me to put
And
out
then you
there.
did it. And that's why
I did.
and I
Well,
realize
to
very
you guys,
quickly that
I
I
did.
can see somebody in every case. It's like, and plenty of times there's moments where, like, if the line is something you would do, it comes and flows naturally. And when I watch somebody start messing up the line, messing up the word in like a certain way that an energy comes through with it, I realize it's because that is so unnatural to who they are on any level that it's
I see.
almost too foreign. So then I'm like, yo,
Right.
what would you do if it was you? And then that's why we can't discuss what you said on camera, but it is so beautiful when you're running away at one point. That scene with Nelson, we're not going to discuss anymore. People will have to watch the movie. But I loved what you said and how you handled it. So
Oh,
like that's
really?
staying in for sure.
Thank
But that was the
you.
difference versus what I had written and what came naturally. I keep yelling. I honestly believe that the script in a way is more like veins. You don't got a
Yeah,
whole human body on just veins. So like here are the veins, here are the bones, now make it a person. That's how I feel about my scripts. And there are moments where it's like, no, you can't do that because it won't work later on, and this, that, and the other. But for most cases, I might put like somebody says, wowee. Well, that's just a placement holder. What the fuck? You
uh,
right? You know it, for sure. You'll be like,
yeah,
randomly,
yeah,
who says this? And it's really just because it's like wowee. And then I look at you and go, what would you say? And you'd be like, fuck yeah, there you go.
There you
Right.
go.
And
Right,
I think you get, a better performance no matter what that way. That's why before we went through our read through of the script, I said, think about who your character is.
right.
Take a moment and like identify with her so that, and I think that helped you once you were acting too. Did it or did it
Yeah,
not, do you think?
yeah. It helped me more when I was in the situation, and the giggles, guys. The giggles are real. You don't understand. Like I had 2 takes in a row where I just started cracking up as soon as she said action. And I don't know if that was my character coming through or what, but I really it took a lot out of me to not giggle like the next 4 takes. I was like, as soon as she was like, all right, great, moving on, I was like, thank God, because I'm about to laugh my ass off again.
It was so
Because
funny. There is if you guys go to the Devil's Lettuce movie, make sure you add the word movie, Facebook page or Instagram page, you'll see a take of
oh,
Jessica.
one of them. You can't
Yes,
really
one of
hear what
them.
I say, but yeah, that was one of the takes that I was just cracking up
You
because
just
the
looked at
people that
somebody
we
who
work
wasn't
with
doing
are
anything.
so.
And I think it's also that nervous energy. It's like, oh, fuck.
Nelson started twirling his hair with those contacts in at Al, and I saw him in the corner of my eye, and I'm like, it was just so funny. Anything, for some reason, anything Nelson does
It's so
cracks me the
funny.
fuck up. I don't
I
know why.
know. Well, that's the only reason every once in a while I have to look at him and be like, please,
I
I need to be
know.
able to have this tip.
I needed him to look away, and I think he got the drift because he was
Yeah, he
trying to
did.
make
He made
Al
me like
laugh.
look away because you also can tell when I've had enough. I'm just like,
I know. Well, listen, you got a lot doing, and you want to get this done. And we are there for hours doing one scene sometimes, and it's cold and shit. No, I get it. I get it. But man,
especially since I can't bundle up in layers in between takes because I'm standing there going, how about
well,
now? How
yeah,
about now? How about
yeah,
now?
right, right. That's true. I know. And you're moving around and you're trying to get the lighting right, so you're not even like just standing still. So
That was like one of the nights. The last time I had peed was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was Saturday. Remember how late we were there Saturday?
yes,
So
it was
Cynthia and
well
Tommy
after
get in the
1.
car with me, and now we're driving away because we're at the end of the night. And I look at them, I'm like, I have to pee so badly. It's in my hip, and I can feel it in my left foot. Phil, the toilet is full up. He's gonna
Yeah,
explode. Like I was deranged at that point, and
that
everybody
was the
didn't want to let you
graveyard.
use the bathroom.
The graveyard night? Yeah, because
Yep.
sometimes, guys, we got to go find our bathrooms. When we go on breaks, like if we're in a graveyard, they don't have a porta potty just sitting there,
Yeah.
you know? So we have to go find, and sometimes if we're splattered of blood or something, it's so funny. We walk in, and the last night I had to walk into a gas station, and the guy was like wondering whether or not he should let me use the bathroom. But he was so cool about it. I was like, oh, I'm filming a movie. I'm just in between takes and I have to go to the bathroom. He's like, the door doesn't close, but I'll stay over here. And then he was talking to me while I was pigging from the front room. So he's like, you get paid a lot? I'm like, no, I'm doing this because I love it. And, I told him I was volunteering and he was like, oh, with all that blood on you.
That's awesome.
I guess he was insinuating I should have been paid. I'm like, listen, I didn't do anything.
And quite
It's like,
frankly, if we get enough donations where I make this movie and there's money left over, everybody's getting paid. I might not, but everybody else is getting paid. Like,
I'm doing it for you, man. Like, I'll buy snacks whenever you need it to. I'll put in for hotel rooms. I'm just really happy to be part of it. And you're a good woman. You deserve breaks from good people. So don't ever feel like you're alone and like you can't afford to do something because we didn't get the donations in. I'm always there for you.
oh, I appreciate that, baby. I love you.
Yeah.
We're gonna have so much fun.
I know.
First. I can't.
I know, because not only are we like filming in a hemp field, but we are staying in a hotel room together.
Oh yeah.
Wait, we gotta pay Cards Against Humanity. Nah, we're probably gonna be so exhausted.
Maybe. But we'll have Sin there too, so it'll be awesome. The three of us will be partying. Yeah. I just feel bad because Nelson, like, it's weird to have Nelson stay in a room with us. It's so, like, not okay, really. But, like, it just feels shitty. Like, we're all in a room and he's going to either get his own room or, like, go back. And you know how I am. It's so, like, if I had 4 M&Ms and there were 5 people, I'd figure out how to cut one or, like, I'd just give mine to the other person. Like,
oh, I mean, I don't, like, if you're wondering if anybody, I feel like he's like a good friend. Like, I wouldn't mind if he like slept on the floor. That's just up
always
to
bring a cot or ask for one of those rollaways.
I mean, I have a blow-up mattress I could bring. Yeah.
We'll talk about it because, like, I honestly don't care, but I'm just trying not to do the wrong thing where anybody feels like.
No. Me and Al are cool, and it would just be on Cindy, if she or Cynthia.
I call her Sin.
I don't know why I called her Cindy because that's not her name. You know why? Because she spells it Sin, and I spell it CY. So that was in my head, and I called her Cindy. I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's okay.
No, I didn't mean that. Sorry, Cynthia, if you're watching. Uh-oh, what is that? What are you looking at? Are we getting the bottle out, Madame?
No, I swear it looked like somebody was sitting there looking at me like this. And I never feel like that. I hate that. If my fan suddenly turns off. No. That wasn't on camera that time either. That's always when it happens, right? Remember when we were about to start and my fan turned on and off? And I never feel like that where there's nothing here that's changed. It's a couch. So, I mean.
Yeah, but it's your feeling.
Yeah. And I had a problem in the hotel room after the cemetery, actually. So I was
just going to ask you if anything followed you.
No, we checked. I had Sin and Tina check me. But, like,
okay.
So I was in the hotel room and, we had been done. I think it was that Saturday night. So, of course, it's super late by the time I figure out how to get back to my hotel room. Because I always get lost. Anyway. So I'm laying there and I realize that the alarm clock thing that they have isn't plugged in. I plug it in. I then decide for some stupid ass reason not to set the clock at all. I leave it just flashing and I like turn it. I said, fuck it, because I guess I was too fucking tired. There's a point. So the next morning, I wake up with my alarm on my phone, all good. I'm in the bathroom, putting makeup on. I come out. I'm standing there looking at the TV. And the radio turns on to only static by itself while still flashing No kind of numbers whatsoever. How could a clock have an alarm go off at a certain time if there's no time on the clock?
Oh my God, girl.
So what do I proceed
Enough.
to do? I just unplug the clock and I go, and that's why it was unplugged. Gets better. So
Uh-oh.
I tell Sin and Cam because they always show up to make sure I can get to places, and plus I like having the company, you know. Um, I tell them the whole crazy story. They look around the room, they're like, aha, and I'm like, oh shit, they know something. Moving right along. So that night we go back to my hotel room, right, to drop me off and make sure all is good because you know I never pick something that's really expensive, so it's never a great neighborhood. But I've lived on the streets and I've lived in rooms that, you know, for a month was like $50. So I've lived in some crazy places. It's not a big deal. I go to open the door and it doesn't want to work. And I'm like, maybe it's me. You know, I sometimes have crazy problems, you know. So the girls try it. It keeps turning green. It won't open. Like, I'm like, trying to like do it won't open. So Sin comes with me. We go to the manager. He looks at me. I'm like, bro, if I could fucking open the door, I wouldn't bother you, man. I literally am like this, by the way, because I can't figure out what the mask is. So I'm wearing this, looking like this, going, dude, I just want to fucking sleep. I swear to God, if I could figure out how to open that goddamn door, either of us, and
Right.
Sin looks like, it was crazy. So and it's great because my phone is about to die, even though it's been plugged in this entire time. So we'll find out what
Oh,
happens. Like just life, right? Anyway, I don't even know how to check it. I don't even know how to check. So we're definitely might be a little shorter tonight. Please, guys, donate to the link. That way, when we film on the 1st, we could even do a shout out to those people who donate. We'll do a little live video, me and Jazz, of saying thank you to you guys. Um, I have I have 3 fucking computers, ladies and gentlemen. One doesn't want to work with my monitor suddenly. The other computer decides that it wants to update some new form of Windows 10, whether I like it or not. And my cell phone is literally connected into the computer that is working, but doesn't want to hold a charge somehow, even though this is the very first time. So do you think there could be something in my room fucking with shit?
yes. Look it
So
up.
if this
Anybody that's
suddenly
doubting
shuts
it,
down,
look
since
it
I
up.
am the host, I apologize for the unprofessionalism, and I'm gonna have to scream at some of the fucking ghosts soon. Be like, bro, don't mess with the product, all right? Like,
Oh, I forgot to tell you. Oh my
tell me.
God. I woke up at 3 o'clock last night because I had a really bad dream of somebody grabbing my ankles and pulling me off the bed.
All right, when we're done with this,
So
or if I cut out, I need you to contact Tina. Go in the group chat and say, Tina, Loren told me I have to contact you immediately. Just for
really,
protection.
am
I just want you covered. I'd like to make sure that she checks it. It's not just a silly dream because of the places, all right? Take
all
my
right.
caution, follow my advice. It won't be a big deal. I'd rather have
Okay.
somebody know. When
Okay.
I have a problem at any level, I have root worker friends. I have ordained friends. I contact them and let them know what's going on so that they can also keep an eye on the ethos. That
So
way,
I also when I was out on this couch sleeping for the rest of the night, a huge crash happened, but nothing broke. Like there was nothing that fell.
yeah, you better
What?
contact.
What are you telling me? What are you
I'm
telling
telling you,
me?
contact Tina. I'll contact Tina. You contact Tina. And we'll contact Tina. It's
Okay,
not a
so
big
that's
deal.
a thing. That's a thing.
Honestly, I'd rather have precautions. Here's how I always am. It's not necessarily ever a thing. You saw how I was on set. How many extra plans did I have just in case? How
Yeah,
many
I know. Okay.
precautions did I take just in case? Right?
All right. Yeah.
I contact my okay, so I contact the Puerto Rican witch anytime I'm having a problem. I contact Tina every single time I'm having a problem. I let them know, yo, this is what's going on. That way I have support back up on multiple levels. You get where I am with it actually? It doesn't mean
Okay.
that it's
Okay.
anything other than you are just in a bunch of places and you need some extra positive energy.
Okay.
But if I give too much, then it makes me sick. So that's why I also call on others. That's why there is nobody who is truly psychic or truly magical, for lack of a better word, that doesn't also have others that are as well. You always, like, I have my spiritual team. One, you ask Archangel Michael to shield and protect you and remove any negative entities.
Okay.
Saint Benedict, remove any negative entities. Mother Mary, remove any negative entities. Jesus Christ, remove any negative entities. Now, Samotipi, amen, and it is now so. Okay, it's a good first step.
The other thing was when
what?
I woke up after I felt like I was being pulled off the bed, my feet and ankles were solid ice.
Yeah, no, we're going to talk to Tina.
Okay. I mean, I was under a blanket, but I don't know why my feet and ankles specifically were solid ice.
Because probably something was messing with you, which could happen.
All right.
Nothing, but I wouldn't, like, I don't mean it like be
But this
scared.
is the thing. This is the thing. I never feed fear.
Good girl.
Like, I was fearful for a moment, and then I collected myself. And then when I came out here, that crash happened, but nothing fell. It was just
You're
a
in your
sound.
first steps, my dear. The first steps of spiritual awakening is trying to scare the crap out of you and you going, fuck off.
But it didn't scare me. It didn't scare
That's
me.
exactly why it's good.
Okay. But I don't know why
Tina was
it
telling
didn't
you.
scare me.
Because Tina told you you're powerful. Why would I be friends with you at this level?
I think I brought it from another life because I've never experienced anything but this one thing in my past that prepared me for it.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to not feed it fear,
life.
there's something in my cells that know not to feed it.
Well, start talking to your ancestor line because that's a heavy duty one you need to start talking to. You and I were both witches in previous lives, but like what the meaning used to
I
mean.
was told that I was a shaman.
You definitely were. But you got to remember how many lifetimes you could have. You and I have had a ton. You, me, and Tina have had a ton. The group you met.
I had a past life regression, and I know how I passed in my last life. Oh, I told you about that on one other episode.
Yeah, but that's only the last one. You've had them for like centuries.
Yeah,
You've been through tons of centuries with me, bitch. You think you haven't? You think I would?
I love my little circle.
But honestly, I wouldn't be this protective over you if you weren't one of mine for this many lifetimes. That's just the statement. You, Tina, Sin, Cam, you are all those people.
And you know what? They're just so fucking happy all the time, those girls. All three of them.
Yeah, they are.
And even Dab, man. What a happy-go-lucky dude. He's just chilling, minding his own business, doing his own thing.
He protects everybody, man. He is incredible.
I can't even understand. He's just like, nothing phases him. He just does whatever, doesn't make a fuss about nothing. I mean, like, I love that about people. My grandmother was like that. We never knew when she was in pain or in need because she never made a fuss. Yeah. And it's so admirable. I want to be that person. But so anyway, I got to talk to Tina.
I get like that. I used to get like that and it was unhealthy. And then I started talking about it. Like, you don't want to go so far where you don't tell
That's true. That's true. Because I have to say, at the end of my grandmother's life, she said that she wished she did everything different.
Oh, yeah.
That's
and one of the things most people don't realize is vulnerability is actually the most courageous thing you could ever do.
I can't even believe it.
And that's why I've been working so hard at it, because I realized anything else is a pussy bitch, and I ain't no pussy bitch. So,
you look like a pussy bitch.
I know, like I know I have emotional issues where, like, I get afraid of connecting, or like I don't slow dance. That makes me so fucking uncomfortable. Like a friend of mine, he was dancing with a friend of mine, like, and it was totally fine. And then he was like he was trying to ask me, and I was literally going, no, yeah, like from across the room. He comes over, he's like, what? I'm like, I don't slow dance. It is the most ridiculous, uncomfortable.
Hey.
I almost punched somebody once because he was trying to make me slow dance. I'm like, this is so fucking
Why? Oh, the
touching,
connection.
touching, people watching, just shuffling my fucking feet. What the hell are we doing? Can I
By
get
the
back to
way,
the
she doesn't like to
bowl?
be touched, but I can give her a 2-minute hug.
Yes, that's what, because it's a weird, because of all the abuse stuff that's happened, women are safe to be able to get hugs because it's never going to mean anything other than. Like, even if a woman's a lesbian, it's never going to suddenly just jump into that means it's okay. For some
I
reason,
know.
and not
We're a
all
little bit
men,
more sensitive.
obviously, but like the general consensus is like, she'll let me touch her this much. That's not okay. Well, you know, and that's where I get it's like too many is like if you give an inch, they take, 400 yards. It's like, listen, I can't, so for me, because like you won't find out until after, I don't want to play that game. So because
Right.
I'm so wounded and broken, that's also why, like, when people ask me out, I go, nah, for your own sake, the answer's nah.
I hate you.
I
Don't
got
you
asked out when we were
dare.
filming. We went to Dunkin' Donuts, and like Sin and Cam left me at Dunkin' Donuts with some guy who was hitting on me. At first, I didn't even realize. I was just uncomfortable. I get in the car, and they're like, "So did you take his number?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "So you didn't realize he was hitting on you?" I never realized. I don't ever realize anyone's hitting on me until they're like vulgar, gross, and then it's so far the wrong way again that it's no.
I know, right?
So there's
You're like, they're
no like
so
good reason.
nice.
It's like they're like, oh, and I'm like, I don't know what they're doing. I have places to be. What like,
Right.
or like,
Yeah, I know.
what? No, like,
I
I'm
mistaken
broken.
all of that for them just being kind and sweet people. And
Yeah.
then I realized, oh, wait, they were only being like that to me. So they were being like that to you, Loren.
Yup. And I was like, no, because he wanted me to like come sit. I'm like, if I just told you I'm late to be on set for a movie and you're still trying to take up my time, bitch, why on
Yeah.
Facebook? I already know you are not going to respect my timetable. Like, nah, I got bitches and places to be,
Oh.
nigga. Like, nah, like, and that's
Hey, listen. Some people are opportunists and they know that you're leaving and you're leaving for good. So they're going to make their mark while they have you. Oh, don't even be like that. Don't
quite
even be like
frankly, I feel bad for them because, like, with my memory, next week I'm gonna be like, wait, remind me what we're talking about. Dunkin' Donuts, is that last year or this year?
Yeah. Speaking
But
of
like,
memory, I thought your friggin' car was black and I had just sat in it to do
I was like, the next door
Okay.
neighbor's business owner's wife's car is black. Is that the car you got into? I was like, oh
No.
my god, and then it wasn't. It
I
was
was
the car I
totally in
thought.
your silver car and I remembered it as a black car even
Cool.
5 minutes after I walked away.
So funny. But it was one of those things, but and like that's one of my problems. Like, I know I want to have a relationship. I know I want to be able to get married, the happily ever after, but like in a realistic sense. But it's either wanting to ride my coattails or suddenly wanting to take over, like, I'll be the leader now. That's not happening. Or like too lazy to want to even be where I need them to be. Like, you can't be jealous with me if I'm taking 18,000 pictures with different dudes at a con and you want to give me shit over it. You are now in my past and I won't even remember your name. Like, I got things to do. I got things to succeed at. Like, but if you're going to be supportive, knowing, as you know, I will never cheat. I am a loyal fucking bitch because I don't want any of that in return. Then I'm good. Okay, let's build a life together. Let's work on it. Like, what job do you want in my company so you're helping me build our future? But if
Yeah.
you're just trying to like ride my coattails or make a name off of me, I don't got time for that. Like, it's hard enough being a woman when guys are going, well, I'll help you if you want to. No, I don't want to. So
They
it's
want to do their
frustrating.
own thing and have you on the side,
Yeah, and it's frustrating
They
because I
want to
know
like
I'm a
have the
difficult personality.
You're not a difficult person. You're not a difficult person.
Well,
You're
I have a
just emotional, and I think that those things need to be taken care of. And I think that that is just you just have to find that certain someone. But the thing that you have to work on is identifying what's good for you, and
yeah,
that might be part of like a self-worth thing. Because I
yeah,
know
I'm
that I
working
have
on
that
that.
all the time. I always want the challenge. I always want the one that needs to be healed. And then I get myself
Oh, I'm
into
done
a
with that.
broken spot, you know?
Hmm.
So, you
Yeah,
know, you and I are probably, I know that I am, but I'm not sure what you are, but I'm considered a wounded healer.
me
And
too.
it's not that I'm like, oh, poor me, I want to heal you and I'm still broken. It's, I've been through the shit. I know how it feels. I rose above it,
Like lotus
and
blossoms.
now I'm gonna help you, you know? Yeah.
That's
But
why I did that post
sometimes,
today, that rise up post, and that's why I shared it with you. Because
I
like
love,
rise up.
yeah,
And
that's
we're
all.
lotus blossoms, you know. A lot of us, you know, we got stuck in the mud. People wanted to make it us when it was them. All this other stuff, whatever it might be. My phone might die, guys, just so you know. Um, but quite frankly, you know, we got to rise above it and be the lotus blossom. And when you look into the lotus blossom, it started out in the mud and rose above to this beautiful thing. So like, so can we, no matter what. And you got to donate so we can make the Devil's Lettuce movie really epic, and I can pay all my
Yes,
people. Um,
yes.
you know, but like it's difficult, and I know who I am. You're right. It's a wounded warrior thing, and I've been working on healing. And a lot of like that Loon and Nate woman I told you about on YouTube, Loon in Nate, two words. But she's does a lot of videos about like self worth and self confidence, and I've been listening to those and trying to dig into some of it. And I realized a lot of times I picked like really broken people, thinking that was going to be one way that I'd be like appreciated, and then they'd stay with me forever, versus like the people that abandoned me, you know. Like when I was 12, my boyfriend was like 20, 21, and he disappeared on a drug binge. So I was 12 years old calling morgues to find out if he was dead. I was calling hospitals, like,
How are
I
you
mean,
at
just
12 years old even knowing to do that? I wouldn't
yeah.
even have
That
known.
was like that was the first step too, is call the hospitals, call the morgues, look for, you know, random, description things to try to discover, because I bet they
You
wouldn't have read me
can't
the question.
heal the world, Loren.
I know, it's you saw me fall apart trying to figure out how I'm supposed to heal it all. That's why I'm even doing the mentor program. Like I talk to the ladies, I'm like, everybody's got to learn self defense.
It's
You know,
fantastic.
just so I get really upset. Women are being hurt, children are being hurt, we're not really dealing with it, and I need to do something. I don't want to just be part of a statistic. I got to talk about it. I got to try to do something.
And what's going on in the industry right now with, they saying, younger kids are getting taken advantage of, things of that nature. Women, I'm sure I'm not saying that's how you make it on top, but I'm saying that is probably a big chunk of why women make it in the industry.
But
You
that's why I
know
want to start the
somebody,
mentor program, is because of how many have
right?
been harmed.
I think it's a great idea. That's exactly what Alfred does with MLS, Mental Limited Skates. He takes the skaters that are new to the industry, he teaches them about the industry so that they can choose on what they want to do. He can get them sponsors when they do contests. We get drink sponsors, T-shirts, hats. We get boards. We get wheels. We get trucks. He gets those sponsors for them, and he teaches them how to be someone in the industry if you want to be someone bigger. So I feel like that is a fantastic. I mean, I'm used
Yeah.
to out for doing that for the younger skaters. So be doing this for the women in acting, fantastic. Because I'll tell you right now, when I went into modeling, I got taken advantage of by some and assaulted by some photographers because they think that that's what models do. I don't do that, but I didn't know that's what I was getting myself into. So now you can have this mentor program, and you could teach the women what's right and what's to be expected, and to know when there's something going wrong. I think it's really important, since we're, as women, we're taken advantage of because we're kind and sweet and emotional. I feel like other people play on that way too often, especially if they're in a position of power.
Yeah, it's
you know.
true. And I gotta say, shout out to Nelson Moss, because he was one of my securities on Yield. I literally was like, listen, I don't know a lot of these people, but I'm gonna have girls in my film, and I know I can trust you. I need you to be my
He's
eyes and
so
ears. If there's a
respectful.
dude that's trying to cause
God
problems,
damn.
I need to know. He's
What a good
incredible.
guy.
He really is.
Love
So
you,
that's why he
Nelson.
was also,
Awesome.
the go-to for this film was like, no matter what, he is someone that will never harm any young lady or woman ever. So that's
You
why,
can
although
tell.
he does tons of other jobs, he is always keeping an eye on the women to make sure no one's going to bother them. So, like, definite shout out to Nelson Moss for that shit.
Yeah,
And he
you
made the
can tell
cover art.
he's been around. He's been around. He's had many lives. The kid is just so down to earth. He knows how to interact. You know, he was interacting with Alfred and I together.
Yeah.
He paid equal attention to me by facing me and speaking to me as much as he did to Alfred.
Yeah.
I am used to a guy being in the room and speaking either only to me or only to Alfred,
Yeah.
because
One or the other.
they don't want to fuck with anything. This kid already knows what he's fucking doing. He's so relaxed and confident about who he is. He can interact with a couple,
He's so
or
talented too.
what is it?
He's so talented too, between all his artistic stuff. Because guys, he made the Devil's Lettuce artwork that you'll see on all the stuff with the skull and the can of
What a
sleeve.
good guy, dude.
He acts. He helps on the script. He's second AD on the film. Like, he was helping.
He
He
is
was
the biggest light post we've ever met because he had to hold the lights up because he's like 6'2" or 6'3".
Yeah, he totally
It was
reminded
like
me
a
of like a
7-foot
Spirited Away
light. It was
lamppost guy.
amazing.
It was so
Shout
cute. He
out to
held up the
Nelson.
leaf. He
I'm
held up the
so
light.
much.
He was holding up the leaf. He's like, I am now a tree.
Yeah, for a long time too. And you're like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yep, I'm fine. Yep, I'm fine." Like
He
for an
also made
hour,
sure
he
I
has
didn't
Starbucks.
bust my ass when we were in that haunted location with all this stuff everywhere. I fell over and broke myself. He's like, nope, I got
He's
you.
so good.
Yeah.
He's
He
such
made
a
sure you came down the hill properly. Because, guys, just so you know, where we were filming, there was broken glass. There was all sorts of shit. And it's dark.
big
We didn't
ass
have any...
rocks.
Yeah, it was awful. It was gross.
But it was
like, I've had worse. But, like, it was cool.
Loren, let me just tell you, as crappy as that road was that I was running down, like I have full confidence that I was protected and that you guys had me. They were just sweeping shit out of my way, like professional people, like professional staff, like for a movie. I mean, not that I've been on many movie sets, but I was impressed with what they knew to do before I even, she went up and Loren went up and down with a flashlight to make sure where we were running was safe. Like, I wouldn't have thought to do that. I would have been like, all right, action, and would have been running on whatever the fuck, was just there organically. Like, it was a really amazing. You guys are awesome. You could tell you've done this a few times.
We also had a lot of conversations because it's weird, like one of the only great things about having this much anxiety and worry is being able to overthink about every possibility of disaster and then going, listen, guys, we can't have her break an ankle. We can't have her fall on her face and stab herself with some piece of rusty whatever. We can't have,
Oh my God.
And you don't understand the amount of phone calls and audio messages Tina Cam and Cynthia Brown had to deal with of like, okay, we can't have the when we get there, make sure like the level of communication, and they handled all of it because they understand, we're all at the same level with stuff. So they were such troopers too. I mean, that little girl, Cammy, what is she, 15? That child's 15 and kicking fucking ass already.
How did she stay consistently happy the entire fucking time in 32-degree weather with like a blanket on and off, while you're telling her, can you grab this for me? Do this. She was phenomenal. My God, these people are just so dedicated. They love the art. When you get involved with people who are just in it to just be part of it, you could really see their desire and passion come through by the way that they just help in the back, in the backstage, behind the scenes. They want to make this awesome. And
I
when they
know.
see a scene, they'll be like, I held that light. I did the clacker for that. Like a huge,
Clacka.
oh, and we have a clacker.
We got the clacka.
Yes.
You know what?
It was
We're
so
going to end it on this note before my phone dies. Please remember
okay.
paypal.me/happy horrors, and you'll get a thank you shout out from me and Jess. Jess, thank you. I love you. This has been great. And we'll see you on
I love you,
October
Loren.
1st and every Tuesday. So see you next Tuesday, my girl.
Bye.
Bye.